Welcome back to Pokémon Y. In this part, we're going to be exploring Snowbell City. I think it's a city a bit more, yeah, because it's got a gym and whatnot. And to start with, we're going to be doing more of the looking around the houses and whatnot. So it's time for more Stephen rambling. So, given we've gone through most of Stephen's list at this point, we covered all the features that got the death knell up until Gen 6, and so now we're looking at Gen 7. Like, the features that it's looking like we're not going to get back in Sword and Shield. Mm-hmm. So, let's start.
Right, so, as of Gen 7, well, up to Gen 6, we lost 39 features. 39 features that never showed up in Gen 7. So, Ride Pokemon. We don't know if they are returning, but there's a slight chance considering Corviknight is suggested to be a taxi, so that might be...
That it seems like one of these things where it's just a stand-in. Because, like, what we did see that tips me off that it's not as prominent, even if it is back, is the bike can now seamlessly go across water. When in Gen 7 that was a Sharpedo. So, you know, like...
Or a Lapras.
Or a Lapras, yeah. So it seems like they're trying to ease it out, but it depends on how the Corviknight thing ends up. That could be more a regional specific thing. Although, to be fair, they did kind of establish that as an Alola specific cultural thing. So I'm not too bothered by it as long as the replacements for all the other options don't become too clunky.
Yeah, but region-specific things kind of irritate me because you can reinvent it in a way, but don't just straight up remove a feature and just be like, well, we couldn't have it because it's only acceptable in this region. Just reinvent the wheel a bit. Just be like, it's different here.
Well, that seems what they're doing, like I was saying, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see, I think, with that one.
I'm not mad about the bike. I actually kind of like the way that it seamlessly transitions between water and land. That's nice.
It means that, you know, it's a lot faster paced. You don't have to go into a menu, and that in itself is just... That's a quality of life feature. Yeah. I appreciate that a lot.
It's like, I'll give them that. I mean, that's number 4 on the list of good things about Sword and Shield so far. 4 things!
Okay, so we've got the fantastic visuals, you've got the quality animations, you've got the nostalgic throwbacks, and you've got the cool new bike. We're doing well with this game, I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, Pokemon photography.
Okay, so that was bare bones as fucking Gen 7.
Yes, I will admit that.
And because I remember seeing that first getting talked about, and I thought, oh, it would be a nice little throwback to Pokemon Snap. But no, it's nothing like that. It's literally just...
It's very...
Forget what the point even was.
Yeah, I really can't remember. It's like you get points for getting great shots, but...
It's like you would try and get yourself in some sneaky place, like, you know, a slightly broken wall or a hole in something, and sneak your camera through and try not to get arrested, and, you know, it was all kind of pretty basic.
I'll have to look that up, along with all
the other shit we keep saying we're going to look up.
Well, difficulty options and not roads. The photography. Well, these two we're definitely not seeing. Mega Evolutions and Z-Moves.
Mega Evolutions, that really fucking sucks. Z-Moves are kind of Like,
Z-Moves are finishing moves, and they actually at least put effort into them because they don't actually need much refinement to them. Because they're pretty much good the way they are, and they also adjust like moves that have status effects. Like, I mean, for goodness sake, Splash can give you maximum attack.
Perfect, yeah.
Z-Splash gives you maximum attack. I love that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of useless when that's the only move it knows.
I know, but come on.
Like, it'll make your Magikarp have the most powerful tackle
like,
ever.
Of all of... It's like, they could do... I wouldn't have been surprised if they didn't do anything to Splash, but they purposely gave it the ability to make you maximum attack. That's fantastic.
It really is, yeah.
It's like, I mean, Z moves, they adjust depending on whether it's a special attack move or a physical attack move. Again, like, it's like things like hypnosis also change. I can't recall exactly how they change, but it's like they probably increase like the accuracy of moves and that, and also adjusting the stats that certain moves give you.
Of course, because I never really clocked on to what this was about, but when you go to pick a Z move and you see there's two that are the same Z move and one of them's got like a visual effect on it, like a glow or something, it looks a bit goldy, does that mean anything? Because I think that might be like the more powerful variant of it.
I can't recall what you're on about. Really.
I'm probably rambling.
That's a third thing we'll have to look at.
Yeah, but like I do distinctly remember, because I was wondering, like, does this mean that this is the more powerful of the two, or does it mean that it's going to get some bump or something?
I mean, I know that Necrozma definitely has its own unique type of Z move, because it needs to use a Z move to transform into Ultra Necrozma.
Oh, right. Oh, so that's got the boot as well.
Yes. So that's lost half of its identity.
Yeah. Let's be real here. Necrozma's not going to be in the Galar decks anyway.
Of course. But removing Z moves is very stupid, but less so to a degree than Mega Evolution, because Dynamax and Gigantamax, all they are is Mega Evolution and Z moves pressed together, and it lasts 3 turns.
Yeah, and it's just like, I want a unique design, and that's what the Mega Evolutions do well. And like when it's big now, like the Dynamax one, like Gigantamax, they tweak it up a little bit.
Yeah, they actually adjust the designs for Gigantamax.
Yeah, but like I don't give a shit. Yeah, like it's not often that I see a feature in a game I just think, like I don't care, but that's what that's given me, and like maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know. I'll play the game and give it a chance, but you know I'm not really that excited about it. Like I'm not as impressed by that as I immediately was by Mega Evolution.
Yeah, because Mega Evolution, its inclusion didn't take away from anything.
That's true,
thing.
Yeah.
Mega Evolution was building on top of something. It never took away.
Yeah, I feel like this is a kind of hole that they've dug themselves into now, because there is such a thing as feature bloat. I'll give them that, in that if you have too many things going on, it becomes a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
But the thing there is that they've gone generation after generation of just adding a new gimmick in, and then eventually you come to a point when you do that you're going to have to start taking stuff away just to make it work. And so maybe they should have like refined the features they had rather than just scrambling loads of new shit like we've been through.
That's literally the whole point of this list. Every single feature that has been removed, like, yes, there's the remakes where they are forced to bring back certain features, or in which case Battle Frontier where they ignore the feature. But the secret bases, they were refined, they were improved, but now we'll never see them again, most likely, until Gen 4 remakes with the Underground. But
no, we'll see them in Let's Go Puzzle and Let's Go Mining.
Oh yeah, Gen 5 also saw the removal of the battle trains.
Oh yeah.
But that pretty much served a similar function to that of like Battle Tower and that.
Yeah, it was a similar kind of thing, wasn't it, really?
So yeah, I guess Battle Tower kind of got upgraded at that point. So I guess it's like remove that from Gen 4, move it onto Gen 5 instead.
Yeah.
So the number still stands.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the removal of Mega Evolution is just the most bafflingly stupid and ignorant thing that I just cannot comprehend. There is just so much value there that is to be gained from it.
It is the epitome of a feature that was never fleshed out properly, because you heard like in earlier parts of this playthrough and earlier recording sessions and that, where several times we were like speculating over which Pokemon, well not speculating, but just which Pokemon we would like to see get a Mega Evolution. There are so many more that they could just adapt the designs, enhance the designs. But instead it's, let's make them big.
It just doesn't make
any sense. It needs Mega Evolution changes them visually.
Exactly.
But just scaling them up is like, just scaling them up.
It's a big boy.
It'd be good if it was like a big one versus a little one, because then you see the size, but if they're both big, it's like,
Yeah, because
it's like the same,
technically, technically that is possible because it's like you get to choose when you Dynamax or Gigantamax, so you can have your little Pokemon up against someone who has just Dynamaxed or Gigantamaxed. So there is that slight, tiny novelty there.
Endeavour.
He's just making a big
This
bird.
tiny little novelty that's completely irrelevant.
Well, no, because it looks like the way it's sort of going is that if you don't then Dynamax, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
So
you
you
know.
have to Dynamax in that situation.
Yeah.
Or let that Pokemon die to that Dynamax Pokemon's move, and then bring in your Pokemon, which will then...
Or just stall for 3 turns.
Yeah, it's like we don't know what the stat increases are for Dynamax or Gigantamax yet. But, as far as we know, Dynamax is weaker than Gigantamax, so there has to be some sort of substantial change there.
Yeah, like, if
like-
it's like a layered thing, then yeah.
The only major difference between Gigantamax and Dynamax so far is that Gigantamax Pokemon do get a different appearance, and they also get one unique move to them. And let's now bring in the fact that Masuda said that another reason for why the Pokedex got cut down is for balance issues.
Because
When have Game Freak ever cared about balance? These are the same people that created Mega Rayquaza, the Mega Evolution that can hold an item. The thing that got its own tier created around it because it's too strong.
Yeah, but like, I'm curious about how like this will get adapted and just interpreted competitively, because I imagine there's going to be like a story justification for Dynamax and Gigantamax. They're going to weave it into the main plot, but where it goes from there, like in terms of gameplay, I don't know how developed that's going to be.
Because it just nothing makes sense. Nothing adds up. Nothing feels cohesive. Because it's just baffling.
Local man is very frustrated.
It is really frustrating. The moment that they said that Mega Evolution and Z moves wouldn't be returning, I was just like, no, you were pushing it with the culling of the Pokedex, because I'll be honest, that doesn't majorly affect me. I wasn't even going to bother transferring my Pokemon, but I'm irritated for those who want to transfer their Pokemon.
Well, it's just a principle thing of Pokemon gotta catch them all.
Yes.
The ones we pick.
Yeah, the entire theme of this franchise is gotta catch 'em all, and now you are refusing to let us do that. If things have gotten too far for you that this is a problem, that's your own fault.
Yeah.
You should have been in better control of your franchise.
Yeah, it does feel like they don't seem to understand the size of what they're working with, because Game Freak, there's a lot of misinformation going out there about their number of staff and the kind of people they work with, but a lot of these problems in terms of the animations and things, even Pokédex info and just all the basic data input shit that they need, a lot of that could be resolved just by hiring more people. And it's the biggest franchise on the fucking planet, they can afford to hire some more people.
The highest grossing media franchise of all time so far, and it can't even put every other Pokemon in the game that every other game has managed so far.
Well, no, you see, it's a nostalgic throwback to the
Shut
days
up,
of...
you
No,
moron!
it's a nostalgic throwback to the days of Gen 1's development, where they had so little budget that Satoshi Tajiro went without pay just because they didn't have enough money. That's what they're going for here, right?
We need a water back, because at least he was the reason that Kanto was in Gen 2.
Well, he was in charge of compression. He managed to make the compression work so that because Gen 2 was really eating up space on the Game Boy Color cartridge, it was an original Game Boy cartridge, and so it was the one who, when they translated it to English, that obviously uses more characters than the Japanese text. So, it had to be compressed a lot to make it fit. And bear in mind that this is a Game Boy cartridge they managed to make shit work on. And like theoretically, they have as much space as they need now.
Yeah.
Like I think the Switch cartridges are 32 gig. So like, you know, if they manage to make the fucking 3DS ones sort of work on like a 2 gig cart or whatever.
This game isn't going to be as big as Breath of the Wild. It's not going to be as big as Odyssey. It's not going to be as ambitious as either of them. But it's showing off far less content than either of them combined.
Yeah.
But surely it could be though.
It
That's
could
the
be.
thing with Pokemon.
They've
had that coming from ages. They could have.
That's the problem with Game Freak.
Yeah.
Their motto is they could, but they won't.
Well, I do need to break this down a little bit because whether it's necessarily Game Freak or whether it's the Pokemon Company in control of publishing, because to be fair, to cut Game Freak some slack, because I know we get frustrated at them a lot, and Masuda spouting bullshit really doesn't help.
Yeah, he's not.
But like, he's not a good PR man. I'll say that much. But like, where it comes down to is that the Pokemon Company are overseeing not just the games; they're also seeing over like the anime, the training Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's why the games can't be delayed. Because like you can delay a video game, but when you also need to have a card set ready to go, when you need to have an anime series ready to go. Any other like merchandise or whatever, like that's just not possible to delay all that much.
Problem,
but the thing is that if that's going to be the case, I think it falls down to the Pokemon Company to shy away from annual releases. It's like, so, you know, and I am trying to be the reasonable one here because like I'm not gonna forgive Game Freak for their inability to just hire more staff and shit, but you know, we do need to look at the bigger picture here. So what they need to do is they need to realise that if we get like maybe a filler product in the meantime, like for the anime and the TCG, just to pad us out for another year, and then they can get something more polished. But I don't think that's going to happen. And my guess of what's going to happen is that Sword and Shield will release, and then next year we're going to get
another one.
We're going to get like either an ultra version or like a third version or something that just sort of polishes the rough edges.
Yeah, we either get that or we get a remake.
I don't think we'd get a remake.
I know, I'm just saying maybe.
I don't know whether we're going to get remakes anymore, because remember
I don't see why we wouldn't, but then again it's...
Well, they seem to be on a push for new generations, because when it's a new generation with a lot
yeah, they present Charizard.
No, but like when it's a new generation in whole, there's more merchandising potential in entirely new things, because it like you have all these new Pokemon designs and new characters that they can just push, whereas there's not really as much demand for like Sinnoh merch, and so. If we're in this limited state, because obviously they don't have as many resources to work with as they need, if it's between either getting a new generation that they can flesh out to the best that they can, or they can put that same amount of like time and money into a remake that's going to be less profitable on the whole, they're going to go with a new generation. So I kind of think that we're more likely to get enhanced versions as filler games in future rather than more remakes, which is a shame because I feel like Gen 4 needs a remake. But that's kind of the state of affairs right now.
It just baffles me that they just, when Mega Evolution got announced, everybody was just like, oh my god, what is this? How does it work? What are they doing here? What have happened to the old Pokemon? How were they going to function there? It's like
it was exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was exciting. And when we found out all the details, it was really affirming, because it was like nothing was being tainted, because it was like, we're not erasing the old designs. This is just the thing that you can use with your old Pokemon. Yes, old Charizard still exists, but you can also optionally transform him into something else. You can make him a stronger flying fire type, or finally turn him into a dragon type. And they're just stripping these sort of possibilities away.
It's quite boring. Pokemon Mega Evolution is taken out now. Like you just get just a Charizard or just a Tyrantrum. You can't fully Mega Evolve.
And the Gigantamax things that they've shown so far, they don't change anything about the Pokemon except for the damage and their moves and their appearance. Because it turns out that it doesn't even change their abilities or possibly change their typings. So it's like this is a half-baked version of a messed up love child in a sense between Mega Evolution and Z moves. They just they stuck them in the daycare, yelled at the woman at the front desk and went, make it work.
Yeah.
And then never put a single thought into whether they should have done it.
Yeah, it's like, just make these two things fuck. That is your job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've been dwelling on that a little bit. What's next on the list?
These are sort of less relevant things.
Go on.
Less topical things, but Totem Pokemon.
Yeah, I never liked them, really.
They were pretty much just like little boss battles in a sense. They were kind of appreciated. Again, could have been developed more, but not gonna be.
Yeah, but also I'm not too fussed about losing totems.
Really, I guess they could have treated Dynamax as boss battles.
I mean, that could have been like a thing, but they're not going to.
Yeah, it's like I would like Dynamax if it was used for that.
Having like a giant variant of a Pokemon, that could be like a super boss.
Yeah,
but
I would love that.
Yeah,
but no, they're not using it like that.
Just to draw attention to what's going on here, because this is like the one interesting thing here in this part. This is our gym leader Wolfric, who we've been looking for because his gym was shut. And this here is the Pokemon Village, which is like a shut away little area that the Pokemon live to be protected in. It's kind of a cool area. We will be back here for something significantly cooler in the post game, which
like these Pokemon are sort of like neglected, I think. Like these are all Pokemon that have been neglected, and they come here to just be safe amongst their own kind and that.
Yeah, so that's basically what's going on here. Like I say, we'll be back here in the post game for something significantly cooler than like a Furfrou. But yeah. Oh, what have we got? Got a Shuffleberry. What does that do?
I can't remember. There's a lot of berries in the game.
A lot of berries, and I don't give a fuck about any of them. What's next on the list?
Ultra Beast.
Yeah, well, I doubt any of them will end up in the decks.
Yeah, I doubt. It's like, I mean, to be honest, I'm not mad about them not getting developed on, because it's like they were kind of the whole. It's like, I know I've said that. Like, you shouldn't restrict features to a generation and be like, well, it didn't show up here because it's for this. But it definitely feels a lot more intertwined with the events of Sun and Moon.
Yeah, they have a story purpose that it kind of starts and ends there. Could they do something else with them? Possibly, but like, I feel like this is another thing that I wouldn't be as bothered if the national decks were there. If it were just that like you could import the ones that already exist and just call it a day, I'd be fine with that. But it just stings a bit more because like I never really cared for any of the Ultra Beast designs, but I know some people like them.
I like them. Yeah. I like them for what they are, because they are meant to feel alien. They're different. They're not meant to be Pokemon in a sense, which is weird, but I enjoy that aspect of it. And if they did introduce new Ultra Beasts with games, I would prefer it if it stayed to just one new one.
One or two,
Make it a rare occurrence around the world. Because like, it makes sense that there'd be a lot showing up in Alola, considering the events that occurred.
Yeah, the others would need some kind of reason to show up, wouldn't they?
Exactly, yeah. Next up, Ultra Wormholes. Again, it's very story-centric with Gen 7. So it's sort of intertwined with the Ultra Beast.
Yeah, the Wormhole, that was mainly existing as a like way to get legendaries though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it also allows you to just endlessly catch Ultra Beasts.
Yeah, to be fair with that, it's kind of filling mostly the same role as the Mirage spots, and I feel like like the door's still open to have another feature that serves the same function. It's not like something that's being taken away in the same sense as like taking away Mega Evolutions or C-moves or something.
Yeah.
So I'm not too fussed about that, as long as there's like another way to get old legendaries show up.
Yeah, it's more an aspect that can be reinvented and just sort of dressed up a little bit differently. It's like it works in a similar way, but just don't refer to them as ultra wormholes, otherwise you get people being like, hang on a minute, this doesn't really make any sense.
What we got next?
The National Pokédex.
Yep, so far they just say
Hyper training.
What was that?
There was the inclusion of bottle caps in Gen 7, which is a way of doing this, but basically they allowed you to maximize your Pokemon's IVs. Technically it doesn't maximize the IVs, but it does push the Pokemon's stats up to what that maximum level would be. Because it's like if you use the hyper training and you looked at the coding of it, that Pokemon will still have those set IVs. It's just that the stats have been completely boosted up. And there were ways of obtaining them throughout the game. They're meant to be quite challenging, considering the fact that you're changing your Pokemon stats completely. You got to work for that.
Yeah, you got to earn your buff.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a very interesting way of going about it.
Yeah, but there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Join us in the next part where we will be fighting the Ice Gym and also finishing off Steven's list. So we'll see you then.